You're a bit of a bluegrass connoisseur at this point now.
Oh,
right?
I was going to pick a Billy Strings one.
Here we go. So this has, I've never seen this.
Billy Strings,
Dust
in a
Baggie.
I love this song. Love it. Here we go.
I ain't slept 7 days ahead of
Before we even get going, let's just know that this guy has a Hockey Hall of Fame shirt on.
Yeah,
I'm just loving right now.
83. Methamphetamine has got a damn good hold of me. My tweaker friends have got me to the point of no return. I just took the lighter to the bulb and watch it burn. This life of sin, it's got me. Well, it's got me back in prison once again. I use my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20.
You want to start?
I mean, so wait, is this an original song or is this
Yeah,
like...
it's one of his tunes.
Okay, because
I think this is one that kind of put him on the map a little bit.
Because the thing about bluegrass is almost like you can't be original, really, right? Isn't it like it's like steeped in like playing like the traditional? I'm a bluegrass poser. I don't really know.
I would consider myself a bluegrass poser as well, even though I spent like the last like 4 or 5 months trying to figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, like a lot of it is very much steeped in tradition, kind of like jazz, where you have this group of people who are like, yeah, you just got to swing in anything after 1950. That's not real. And I think there's an element of that in bluegrass. Mm-hmm. But then I think when you come along and do it so well, have such a big cultural impact, like get 8 million views on a video and like play so well, you're granted a little bit of exceptional status in there.
Okay.
But even then, I'm not sure how the traditional bluegrass community sees Billy Strings. Because
Really?
even though like this is very much typical traditional bluegrass with just like a new song that he wrote, which is great, but a lot of his new stuff is him running his acoustic guitar through guitar effects pedals, and it's very much like rock and roll infused bluegrass, and I don't know how they feel about that or not. You know, it's the old meets the new, and for a long time in bluegrass there was not a lot of new. Maybe Bela Fleck and the Flecktones were one of those things that came along and were successful but very different. But that's, even then, Bela Fleck and the Flecktones very steeply rooted in bluegrass, but they're also very much jazz, and I'm not sure that they attracted the same audience. And I think the same thing is true with Billy, where it's very much the jam band crew likes him more so than the typical bluegrass, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go.
Long years for some dust in a bag.
I will also say on that rant that I think this maybe more applies to the fans more than the musicians. Because typically musicians are like, you can play, you can do something cool, we're down.
Well, yeah. No,
It's more the fans who care more
the
about that kind of
gatekeepers.
stuff.
The fans are always the gatekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Billy plays with like big bluegrass names. And so they've clearly accepted him in with open arms. But I don't know how like traditional bluegrass fans feel. I love it though.
Well, if I would have listened to what Mom and Papa said, I wouldn't be locked up in prison, troubled in my head. But I took that
3
little
chords.
hop and sucked
All you
until
need.
my mind was spun. I got 20 years to sit and think of what I've done.
I love that it's like
life is-
him, like younger guy with like all these raggedy old dudes.
Yeah.
And like when you're talking about like being steeped into tradition, those guys probably played it for years and years and years and years, and he just probably like learned from, like, did he learn from them?
I think
like
he
what's
learned
the story?
from his
Or did he learn from someone
dad.
else and then he found these like
But he was like
guys that-
into like, I think a lot of like heavier music. Like that's why he had like those spacer earrings or whatever they're called, the stretch out ears. And like he was like a rocker for a while.
So like maybe
and
he
then-
like learned at a young age
And I think, yeah,
bluegrass
and then came back
went
to it?
into like the heavy stuff and then came back to it.
Yeah, and now he looks
Cool.
like a greaser from the 50s, like with the tattoos and the hair slick like that. And now he's got like
So,
long hair.
but he had the earlobe things, huh?
Well, if you look at his ear,
Well,
like
look at
it
it,
got
it's like-
ripped out in a mosh pit, I'm pretty sure. And that's
What?
why there's a
Oh
hole
my
there.
God.
Yeah, like it was those big circular
That's
earrings.
tough. That's
that
a
got
tough.
ripped out in a
Yeah.
That's a tough look.
and just
I was
embrace
never
it.
about the earlobe stretch.
No.
Stretchers?
Look.
Yeah,
What's the upside there?
you look cool, I guess.
It's a culture
you
thing.
look
It's a
cool
culture
in
thing.
2004.
Got my lobes stretched.
No, but it's a culture thing. I think it's like within a group. Like I don't think it's like a mainstream thing. I mean, I guess it was kind of in the punk, like when punk was a thing in like the 2000s.
His original name was Billy Lobes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he changed it to strings after Billy Lobes.
Fun fact.
It's got me. Well, it's got me back in prison once again. I used my own phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust and a baggie.
You know what I like about this too, and I think what kind of brings this into, like, modernizes it, like a lot of traditional bluegrass, it's kind of wholesome, even though if there's like a little bit of a twist about like any sort of dark side of like traditional bluegrass has always been like alcohol related. It's been like, oh yeah, it was bootleg and some whiskey. Oh, wasn't I bad? But like
Wasn't I bad?
Alcohol is
Naughty,
like legalized as the
bootlegger.
20s. But this song is about meth, and so he's like talking about like doing meth and getting thrown in jail, and it's like it's bringing that element of like the outlaw element back into this thing that for a long time. It's been a long time since it's been like cool and bad, you know.
That's Billy Lobes, you know.
Billy Lobes
Bringing
does
some
it.
of that
Bring some of
action
that
in
badass
there.
into the
Those bad
bluegrass.
lobes.
Oh, we talk about that guitar solo. Great,
That was filthy. Yeah? I usually don't even care about guitar solos. as a
disgusting.
guitarist. But that
Disgusting.
was a disgustingly filthy guitar solo.
You know
That
what's
was
great about that? That I
please.
find that I really like.
Yeah.
So there's like traditional bluegrass runs. There's a thing called the G run, and he plays that right off the bat.
Okay.
But then he also does like these. So it's very steeply rooted in tradition, which a lot of it is. But then he does like these nasty like minor second intervals in there, and these bends that are like not
yeah.
really typical bluegrass. So
Those
he
are
kind of
the
comes
lobes
out,
coming out.
He comes out,
The lobes.
plays like he shows he knows the tradition, and then he does something different, which is pretty cool. I think.
I actually,
Billy
I'm
Lobes.
not a fan of like country flavor, like
Yeah.
anything touching it at all. Like it drives me crazy. But country guitar is like
So good. I love
Yeah.
it too.
And he's like super good. Like it just gets me. It's the singing that makes me crazy. That,
But he doesn't really do the southern
He doesn't.
accent too
I
much.
get
He
it,
doesn't. But it's still that twangy. Like
Yeah.
it kind of bothers me. But
He's from Michigan
I
too,
really
so that could be
like
why.
Oh,
the
Michigan
music
man.
is great.
I think Michigan. Somewhere up north. I think it was Michigan. Yeah, the music is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I love about it too, and what I love about bluegrass, is it's very, very simple. It's the harmony, it's 3 chords. It's G, C, and D. Maybe he hits the G7 there. But when you're playing that on guitar, you don't think of it in the way like a traditional rock guitarist typically would, where it's just like, I'm going to play my G scale over that. It's very much, I'm outlining the G chord, and then I'm outlining the C chord, and I'm outlining the D chord. I'm not just doing a blanket thing over top of them. I'm very clearly outlining these 3. And even though it's just 3 chords, like it's very hard to play, because you have to make sure that those 3 chords you're really adjusting for them.
And it's so
great.
fast. It's so fast.
And it's also so
Yeah.
fast. Like the chords fly by half the time. And these guys, like, they catch all of them, and it just sounds so good.
And
Love
you know
it.
what? Maybe that's why he likes bluegrass, is because metal, like heavy metal, is like shredding, right? It's super fast. So he was probably able to just go back and forth between the two
Yeah.
genres because it's.
Here we go.
Well, sometimes I sit and wonder where
like-
my
Love that.
life
Those
It's
raspy,
rock and roll
like,
bluegrass.
so good.
But also the shots coming out of the solo. Listen to his guitar part, and like he's like walking a bass line there through the chords.
Well, sometimes I sit and
Such great
wonder where my
arrangement.
little life went wrong. These old jailhouse blues have got me singing this whole song. My life is a disaster. I feel so ashamed. In here where they call me by a number, not a name. It's like
And the lyrics are so good too. Like in here where they call me by a number, not a name. So good. It's so good.
a sin. It's got me. Well, it's got me back in prison once again. I used my own phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust and a baggie. I used my own phone call
I feel
to
like
contact my
bluegrass is the only genre you can say, like, you hear a guy say daddy.
I'll push back on that.
Really? Have you ever heard a
Couple
guy
daddies?
say daddy in any other
Hip hop all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
In
yeah,
different
yeah.
contexts.
A different kind
Yeah.
of
For
daddy.
sure.
It's a little
guy's
more
not
like
talking about
dirty.
his dad.
But like when he's talking about a
Sure,
dad,
got it,
it's kind
got
of
it.
cutesy to say daddy, right? Not
Yeah.
not like yeah, I'm your daddy. Like not that kind.
Our
For
kids
sure.
don't call me daddy. I don't think I've ever been called daddy by our kids. It's just dad.
Or dada.
Dad.
No, dada. They
Yeah, I
call
get
you
dada
dada.
too.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Daddy, I got 20 long years for just in a bag.
You know a thing that I'm so impressed with, and like a very rare quality that Billy has?
Yeah, what's that?
Guitar player, singer, songwriter, and each one of those three is like elitely good. He's so good at all three of those, and it's very hard to find that. Like you might find great guitar players. and singers.
I'm so with you on this. There are like 10.
Who?
Fiona Apple.
Was he a great guitar player?
Well, piano player.
Okay.
I count like having an instrument as whatever.
Sure.
You know, Stevie Wonder would be another one.
Yep, definitely.
There are way less than you would think.
Yeah.
Actually,
I wouldn't put Jimi
That-
Hendrix. I love Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
for sure.
Songwriter, guitar player, his vocals were
Yeah.
perfect for what he did.
Exactly.
But he wasn't.
But
like
to
an
be
elite singer.
elite at all three is like actually insane. Very, very few of them out there.
Off the top of my head, like I'm not coming up with many.
I'm
sure there are some. I'm just not.
Maybe like Billy Joel. I'd put up there.
Paul
We're
McCartney.
gonna miss like a million of them, but yeah, it's
a rare thing.
It's
That's
a
the
very
point.
rare thing. Yes.
Usually you have very common to have one, less common to have two, extremely rare to have three, and I think that's what impresses me so much
and
about
like
Billy.
I wouldn't even put Prince in there just because the songs are just kind of like what you know like he's awesome at arranging and writing songs and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
maybe it's like
this
that.
is a totally different debate, but yeah, I totally agree with you that it's super rare to
Yeah,
have
and
all
that's just
three.
when I went and read, because I bought all of his CDs, like when I first discovered him. Yes, I buy CDs. We've been over this. I buy CDs and I listen to them in the car.
Yeah, currently still
Yes.
yes.
But when I bought his CDs, I think I looked in the back to see who was writing all these songs. And I was like, wow, he wrote all of these? This guy is like a generational talent.
Well, hey, Billy Strings.
I'm such a huge fan.
Okay.
If you want to check out, like, what really won me over totally was watching his performance at Lollapalooza, where he just like is playing for this massive crowd, playing bluegrass, and they're all totally engaged. And it's also this twist, this unique twist on bluegrass. Like he's doing to bluegrass, here's a hot take, what Stevie Ray Vaughan did for blues.
Okay.
Where he took this thing that had been done over and over and over again. No one had really done much of a fresh thing on it. And then suddenly this young, cool-looking guy puts a new twist on it, and it's like, whoa, this is fresh again.
There we go.
Bluegrass, I think, is having a little bit of a moment right now.
Oh, for sure it is.
Guys like Billy Strings, Molly Tuttle.
That's it. but it's a moment for sure.
But, like,
I think people are probably looking for stuff like this because, like country, like I keep going to country and bluegrass
Yeah.
is different, but like country is gone so hip hop and so
Yeah.
rock that there's not this like history kind of
the traditional
feel to it anymore.
So that's the thing you see is when, like, you read a forum and people will be talking about how country music is garbage now, and then someone will respond, well, you got to go check out Billy Strings. You got to go check out Sturgill Simpson. And he's like one of those guys that people list as like, hey, this is the antithesis to Florida Georgia Line and Morgan Wallens and all those types. You got the Billy Strings over here, and the fact that he's having success, it's awesome. I love it. Such a huge fan. What do you think?
I think Billy Strings is great.
What do you think?
Great, awesome. I'm not even a country fan, and I'm sorry, I keep saying country. Bluegrass.
Yeah.
I'm not even a bluegrass fan.
It's
and
the same
he's-
world.
He's amazing, lovely.
Yeah. Love Billy Strings. Great stuff, Bill. Keep it up. We did it again, guys.
We did it.